Well, speaking of new guys and how we're going to figure out.
Well, but yeah.
To figure out this new rotation, we're going to see in the coming weeks, I guess, and really months, how many guys JB Bickerstaff truly trusts. Because in the last couple of weeks, with given opportunities, Sam Merrill has turned into one of kind of a cult legend in Cleveland. But not just that, one of the most effective, efficient volume shooters in the NBA. Anthony, take this graphic full here. Per 36 minutes, so this averages out everyone on a 36-minute basis. Sam Merrill is shooting more three-point attempts per 36 minutes than any other player in the NBA. And check out the percentage.
And making
Not only is he letting it fly, he's making them at a clip that's better than Steph Curry.
That's told you.
That is Steph. Now, they are very different players. Sam Merrill is not Steph Curry.
Steph brings other things to the party.
Sam Merrill, in my opinion, has carved out a role in this offense that they cannot replicate. And we only saw him play 7 minutes on Monday against the Clippers. There are certain matchups that certainly do not favor him. We didn't see him play much in the second half yesterday when I thought maybe they could have used him. He had 11 points in the first half. I'm curious in your guys' opinion. Has Sam Merrill done enough to carve out a continued spot in this rotation?
Absolutely,
even with
he has.
Well, I think we all agree that he does. But here's the question, Mike. So in the playoffs, you usually use 8 guys, right?
Usually.
Most likely, yes.
Okay. So the Cavs use 10 guys right now.
Yep.
I think we probably all agree that one of the guys you boot out is Dean Wade. Do we all agree with that or no?
I agree with that.
You ain't even asked me.
Mike, are you in agreement on that or no?
It depends. If you're going 4 out, 1 in, Dean Wade has to play.
Okay.
See, because he does some things that you need.
But if you're going to play
you
Sam
can't play
Merrill,
4 guys who are 6'5" and
Sam
under.
Merrill's role, Bull, is in a shooter's spot when you're coming out of a timeout and you need threes.
Yeah.
He's good in that case.
Okay.
The problem is you're only using him if you're down and you're trying to cut into a lead.
Right, but if you who are the 2 guys you're cutting out from the rotation? If it's up to you, Mike.
I mean, right now,
Yeah.
like Dean Wade drives you crazy sometimes, but if you're not going to play Mobley and Allen together, you need Dean Wade because you can't just go 4 guards. And George Niang is a solid defender. One of those 2's getting cut. So I guess in that case, Wade is probably the one.
There you go.
Okay, so Wade knocks us down to 9. Who's the other guy? You got to play Okoro.
Okoro's not.
Okoro.
He's not leaving.
You
Levert's
got
not
to play
leaving.
the big
No,
4.
Okoro and Levert
And
You're going to play Strus. You're going to play Levert.
And that's where the Merrill question comes in.
So you move it? Is Niang out of the list? Off the list?
Well, you can't take both bigs out.
So who are you taking out?
See,
that's the question I'm asking.
So I'm telling you, that's why I keep coming back to the notion that's crazy. I know it seems crazy, but you have a glut of talent. I don't think a trade is out of the because I keep running into that same brick wall, Bull. I don't know what the answer is.
Right. So
but I'm not winning with good players on the bench.
I mean, in a perfect world, Donovan Mitchell would sign a long-term extension, and you'd be able to turn Darius Garland into a wing player. But we don't live in that world. That's not going to happen.
And the thing is, I said a number of weeks ago,
Yeah.
what I would do is I would first go to Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
And I would say, listen, we need to know that you're here for more than a minute. We want to build this thing around you, and we want to maximize some other talent that we have to bring in some assets to help you win. Not guys that look like you, guys that can complement you. And if you present him with a long-term extension and he signs it, to me, I know it seems like blasphemy. Every time I say it on this show, I get ridiculed, but I'm going to say it again. Garland is a chip.
The problem is, Mike was saying this the other day. We were making Mike and G and Tyvis, and I think Earl was in the conversation. We're talking about like kind of where does Darius Garland rank amongst the point guards in the NBA, and I think you guys had him like in the middle, like 15,
like
right?
13, 14, 15.
And that's
Okay.
fair. But he's still a piece, guys.
Right, but let's get crazy now for a minute. Okay, let's say in theory Mitchell was willing to sign, because you wouldn't even consider trading Garland unless you knew Mitchell was going to stay.
You can't. He's your safety net.
Right.
When Mitchell walks, you need Darius Garland.
So you're not going to trade Mitchell unless you
but
knew
I don't
for
think
sure
you need both of them.
But could you, let's say, go La La Land with Mike here. If you, and I know people are going to say he's going to be a free agent, so why would you do it? Well, because you want to win now. In theory, is there a package you could put, if Mitchell were to sign an extension?
Okay.
I know I'm probably not living in reality, but if he were, is there a package you can create with Darius Garland that wouldn't kill your team to get LeBron James?
Yeah, Garland's a max player. You could trade him straight up money-wise for almost anybody.
But what else would the Lakers want in that deal?
What would they want?
Yeah.
Mobley?
Yeah, well, you're not going to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you're getting LeBron for Garland, LeVert, and a 2027 first-round pick. Like, Sam Merrill and LeVert and Garland's not getting you LeBron.
No, I think Sam Merrill's a perfect guy to have with LeBron.
I'm just saying, like, you're asking, like, how about you offer them Pete Nance, Isaiah Mobley, and Ty Jerome, and 12?
I'm asking you, okay, so you'd have to trade Mobley.
Yeah, there's no way you're getting.
Which you can't do that.
So let me ask you guys this.
Yeah.
Because this is the bet that you're making and the question that you need to answer. Where do the Cavs have the best chance of winning a championship? Keeping Mobley,
Yeah,
or trading for LeBron?
trading for LeBron. At least, I mean,
So why can't you trade?
now, as crazy as it may seem, Mike, I know some people are going to lose their minds, especially because, I'm not a big basketball guy,
You would.
right? And if people want to kill me, that's fine. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here.
Sure.
If you did trade Mobley and Garland for LeBron,
That's a
okay,
squad.
just in theory,
That's a squad.
think
a
about
squad.
your lineup now. You got
And now you have that piece that can win you a championship.
like the Cavs. The Cavs could win a championship with that team, correct?
Yeah.
No doubt they could.
You have Mitchell, LeBron, Allen, Strus, who's a perfect LeBron guy.
Merrill's
And-
perfect.
Merrill's a
Okoro.
perfect LeBron guy.
And
Okoro-
Okoro's your defensive.
and
Like,
he's gonna
it's,
play all
You've
the-
got every single piece you need.
it's a really good LeBron team if that's the trade you make, yeah. It's never going to happen, but it's a really good trade. If,
What? So
if the
just-
Cavs are going to make a trade, and I do think they're going to be aggressive at the deadline, the
You
one
do?
thing they're missing, yeah, because they have a bunch of guys that kind of have overlapping skill sets. I think they
I
can
agree with
package
that.
two and you're not getting a LeBron, but you could, like, I don't know if money-wise this works. I'm spitballing. I haven't looked at the trade machine. But, like, if you package Niang and Dean Wade to try to get, like, a Cam Johnson, someone from the Nets who are going to try selling to get some money back. Cam Johnson's a 6'7" wing with size and shooting.
I'll take that today.
That then makes you better, and it eliminates that we have 9 guys. How do we play all 9 in the playoffs? Well, you trade 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Upgrade that 1. And
now
then-
you're better.
Now that's what I think the Cavs, maybe
So
not
that's
Cam
what you mean by
Johnson, Royce
aggressive.
O'Neal. There's some
Mike,
candidates in that range.
Let me
but-
ask you a question. Money-wise, how would that trade work out, the 2 for 1 on LeBron? How would that work? I would think that would work.
Yeah, it works.
Well, Garland's a max player. We keep
Yeah.
like we left.
I know.
Darius Garland makes $55 million a year.
I know he does.
Would the Cavs?
So,
I'm putting in the machine.
so
the
why
trade
would the
machine right
Lakers
now.
not do it? Let's start there. Because if we all agree that the Cavs would absolutely be a championship contender,
Yeah.
we know why the Cavs would do it.
but Mike says they won't, which they probably won't because they thinking long term.
You better.
I mean,
You better.
LeBron is
If
100.
Mobley ends up being what he is now,
Yeah.
LeBron's 100. Why would you not take a
know.
guy that people think
Well,
is
the
a
Lakers
unicorn?
would do that trade.
Yes.
the Lakers would absolutely
Straight up money wise,
do that
Jay.
trade.
You asked in the trade machine.
Yeah.
Straight up money wise, Garland and Mobley for LeBron works. Straight up.
Is there another piece that the Cavs could get back in that deal? that
Roy
would make sense?
Hachimura.
They'd have to get something back.
They'd
I
have to
get-
get something back, but then you got to add more salaries.
But
because-
even an expiring contract or whatever.
Can
All
I
right,
get-
let me ask you guys this, okay? And I get it. Like, if you traded away Darius and Mobley, and then LeBron plays for 2 years, he goes off the cliff in the second year,
Yes.
and Donovan walks, this franchise is you suck.
Why would Donovan?
But let me
got
ask you
another
this.
ring.
What do you think the chances are
you
without
you-
LeBron
You want it? You
of
want
the
it?
Cavs winning a
You
championship
want it?
as they're currently constituted over the next 5 years?
I think the best question. So
Yeah.
I think this is even the next step.
Yeah.
What are the chances that Evan Mobley and Darius Garland are the 2 best players on the championship team?
Right. Well, yeah. Okay.
Because you assume Mitchell's gone, and if Mitchell's gone, you got those 2 pieces. Are they going to win a championship with Mobley and Darius Garland?
I don't know. I wouldn't. There's a chance, but based on what I know right now, no.
Do you think
Because
so? What do you think, Mike? I agree with Jay on that.
Sorry, I was playing with the trade machine. Cam Johnson makes too much money. That
do
doesn't
you
work
think
how
the
I was looking.
Cavs can win a championship with Garland and Mobley as the 2 best players?
What's funny is this all goes back to the Browns conversation. Is Deshaun Watson going to be Deshaun Watson who we expect and think? Does Evan Mobley develop a shot?
That's a big.
that's a
no, that's
jump.
not a good comparison.
Because we don't know Evan Mobley can be him.
That's
Deshaun
my
Watson
point.
had already been a
Deshaun
top
Watson has
5
been
guy.
I'm
He's
just saying
been
the
there.
whole thing. To answer Bo's question, if Evan Mobley turns into the player the Cavs thought they were
That
drafting
wasn't the
at 3,
question.
Do
he
you
said,
think
can they win in 5 years with Evan Mobley and
No,
Garland?
no,
As their best 2 players. If Mobley turns into the player, this unicorn that everyone
the answer
says
is
he
yes.
can be, then the answer is yes.
Right, but there's
that
certainly no
wasn't the
sure thing
question.
there. Well, as part of the answer to that question, you have to decide personally whether you
Is he
think
gonna
that's going
do
to
it?
happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So then to
So
answer
I
that,
ask you, Mike, can they win a championship with Garland and Mobley as their two best players? And based that on what you think they're going to be over the next 5 years, in your opinion.
No.
So if the Cavs feel that way, do you think if they made that trade today that they could win a championship this year?
I do.
Yes.
With LeBron, Donovan Mitchell, and Jared Allen as their default big three.
And they'd
yes.
still have a good depth around them.
Yes.
It wasn't like
I think
they had no
they
bench.
could.
Right.
I think they could.
Bull, I'll go a
Yeah.
step further. I think, now this may be blasphemous,
Yeah.
I think that team would just be a little below the team that won it in 2016.
Well,
I mean, I love Kyrie and I love everything he brought, but
Right.
you're replacing Kyrie with Donovan Mitchell,
And you're replacing Tristan Thompson with Jared Allen.
which is an upgrade.
by the way, who's a better player?
Who?
Kyrie then, Donovan Mitchell now.
Kyrie was so
that even?
good, Bull.
Is it even?
It might be.
I mean,
push.
Donovan's really, really,
It's a
really
push.
good.
I know,
It's
so
like
it might
really,
be a
really
push.
good.
It might
It's
be
a
a push.
push.
So
Okay, let's call it a push.
Yeah.
Now, your third best player was Kevin Love. The Cavs' third best player, after you made this trade, would be Jared Allen.
Allen.
Yes,
I mean, now, obviously, Kevin Love's, they're different type of players.
they are different type of players.
I would think we'd all agree Kevin Love is better.
Well,
but they're
yeah.
different. They're both great rebounders.
But defensively, Jared
Defensively, Jared Allen way
But,
better.
you know, obviously,
But Kevin Love is a much better
what
shooter.
we haven't discussed yet
Yeah.
needs to be brought into the equation because we're just spitballing and we're having fun.
Yeah.
However, think about the infusion of energy, not
my
just in
God.
the Cleveland Cavaliers,
Yeah.
but in the city of Cleveland,
Yeah.
if he does come back.
Yeah.
And obviously, you wouldn't want him to be a rental. I think you'd have a pretty good chance that you could sign him.
If he were
If he was willing to
come
sign
back
an
in a
extension.
trade, you'd think he'd stay.
So if I'm
yeah.
the Cavs and I call the Lakers and I say, we've got Mobley and Garland tickets booked to L.A. right now.
Yeah.
We want LeBron and we want to talk to him about an extension for 2 years.
And you know what?
I don't know why you
agree
wouldn't
with
do
you.
that deal.
I would still take the chance, even if he wasn't willing to do it
To
now.
go for it like
to
the
go
Rams
for a
did.
championship.
Yeah, let's go
I
all
would
in,
do
let's
it
go.
because, and I get it. In football and baseball, I'm a nerd. I'm one of the nerds. In basketball, I'm not. And the basketball nerds are pissed at this conversation right
Oh,
now.
they're
They're pissed.
They are sleep.
But
they
ask
are,
all of them, which team gives you the better chance to win? As constituted or Mobley and Garland off with
if they
LeBron
made
on?
that trade today,
Oh, the
our
excitement?
whole thought about this team completely changes.
And by the way, the interest in this franchise in
Through
the
the
city goes immediately back to 2016 levels.
Through the roof.
They got-
And by the way, one thing we left out when you say, well, they're only slightly below the team that won the championship. You know what, though? The Golden
The
State
rest
Warriors.
of the NBA is not as good.
Nobody's close to what the Warriors
Golden
were.
State Warriors statistically had the best regular
That's
season
right.
of all time,
Go-
and that
They
16
had to
team
beat
won.
an all-time great team.
Right,
There's
that
no
team
all-time
doesn't
great
exist
teams right
anymore.
now.
and if you think I'm
Text
crazy,
Jason and ask him if that's a good trade, if he would do that trade.
if you think
I'll
I'm
text
crazy,
Jason.
and Jason's the basketball
go
nerd
back,
that
go,
would say,
go back and
"No
watch the
way."
Raptors. Go back and watch a couple years of that Raptors series where the Cavs just dominated them and they hit 30, 40 threes a game.
Right.
That's what would happen. I mean, we got Strus, Yang,
I
Merrill.
would say the players like 6 through 9 on this Cavs team are better than the championship
No,
teams.
I agree with that.
Now, I'd say 3, 4, 5, those Cavs teams were better. But,
You're right.
But,
I agree.
And let's face it, LeBron was better then.
Reach out to Jason
I will.
and see what he thinks of that.